Right. Hi, guys. Thank you so much and appreciate your time, guys. Welcome to Rainbow Training Institute at the Red Core HR demo program. Right. So what is the next step here? To all the people who are going through this video may be wondering that, so am I the right suitable person for this core HR program, or can I start this program? Can I learn this program? You may be getting some few things in your mind. So I'm the right suitable person for this or not? The answer is yes. I can say absolutely yes is the answer for this thing. So number one, when you are in freshly graduated from the college or university who are very much interested in HR specialization, then you can immediately start training as a core HR professional. So number two, if you are have some prior experience in HR, if you are an experienced professional in human resource activities, still you can join this program to enhance your career HR competencies. So you may be handling one or two or three activities, maybe recruitment or payroll or time management, but you have to enhance your competencies. You have to grow your competencies day by day. So still you can attend for this program. Thirdly, so if any of you got this business or you are an entrepreneur, still you can join this program to enhance your HR and business skills. So there is no specifications, or there is no only few category of people can attend this course or something. So honestly, guys, there is no one who are born as an HR professional. This all depends upon the right guidance and right resource provided by your trainer. So we at Rainbow Training Institute can give you the proper guidance, proper information, inputs, practicality and theoretical behind the industry, and we can make you as a proper HR professional. So I just want to give clear information. So few people may be thinking that HR is maybe having some different when compared to the other professionals. Bit hard job, or it is dealing with the customers, clients, internal customers, external customers, business heads, management. So honestly, there is no .NET or Java coding or SQL coding in HR professionals. It's all related to the real-time activities. It's all related to the real-time activities. When you take an HR professional, it is somewhat related to your close relation to your mom and dad. I can tell you a few examples. So when there is any dispute between children, elder or older son or daughter or son, who is resolving these issues here? Mom and dad will be resolving the issues. At the same time, if you take an HR professional, there are some disputes in the company or an organization. Few employees will be coming up with a grievance or some kind of issues or concerns. So as an HR professionals, you have to deal with these issues and resolve the issues at an earliest. So your HR is acting like a mom and dad in a family, and HR is acting like in a head of the company here. Second, suppose any of your kid has got some first rank or A grade or something. So mom and dad will be rewarding the kid with some kind of gifts or monetary rewards or non-monetary rewards. At the same time, if employee is performing well up to the expectations, if the employee is reaching beyond the expectations, so as an HR professional, you have to do some recognition to the employee in terms of rewards. It can be monetary rewards or non-monetary rewards. So I can say HR needs more of a behavioral and personality traits. So why do we need HR nowadays? If you take any company, small, medium, or any kind of big or MNC level companies, why do we need HR here? To run the payroll, or to run attendance or leave management? My answer is absolutely no, because these can be done by so-called attendance or leave or payroll management can be done by the latest ERP softwares or in-house developer softwares. So why we need HR then? HR is something they have to do beyond these activities. We need someone who is very good at employee relations, who is very good at performance management, who is very good at dealing this grievance handling techniques, good empathy, and maintaining the work-life balance of an employee. So unlike other professionals, suppose let's take an example. If you take any IT professional, or if you take any mechanical engineer or any electrical engineer or any kind of different other than these HR professionals, they need more of a core competencies. There are two kinds of competencies are required for any professional, very important competencies. Number one, core competencies or technical competencies. Second is personality and behavioral competencies. So what all comes in these technical competencies? These technical competencies are related to the job, type of job. It can be mechanical or electrical or electronics or Java developer or .NET developer. Those kind of technical requirements are required as a core competencies. The percentage here is 70% of the technical competencies are required for any professionals other than the HR resources. So what are the behavioral competencies required here for other professionals? 30%, because these professionals are not interacting with the clients or vendors or internal employees or business management or anything. The interaction will be less when compared to the HR professional. So 30% of the personality traits are required for the professionals other than the HR, human resource. So what about these HR professionals? In the same way, HR professionals have got two types of competencies. Number one, core competencies. Number two, behavioral and personality competencies. So what all comes in the core competencies? Payroll management, time management, performance management, statutory acts, ESI, PF and PT, and onboard and joining formalities, employee relations, employee management, everything comes under these core competencies. So what about the personality competencies required here? Good communication skills, problem solving techniques, leadership qualities, and easy to grasp the new things, adapt to the new technologies and modern methods, empathy, and these are the personality traits required for the human resource professionals. So what is the percentage between the core competencies and personality competencies? For an HR professional, we need 50% of the core competencies and 50% of the personality competencies, because as an HR professionals, you have to interact with your peers, colleagues, reporting managers, management, business partners, external customers, clients, vendors, so many more. So you have to be in continuous interaction with these all kind of internal and external customers. So you have to be more of a good what you call proactive, initiative, and good comm skills, leadership. All these things are required. So my simple input is for any HR professional. If you want to be an HR professional, if you are really committed, if you are really focused, if you are really got some interest, I want to be HR professional, you have to equally build up your core competencies and personality competencies. So core competencies, and for the personality competencies, I'm here to give you the complete guidance in terms of theoretically, in terms of practically, implementation and everything. So let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on to the next thing here. So what is the next thing here? So you are a freshly graduate or you are an experienced professional here. That's fine. So what is the next step here? For any HR professionals, if you want to be an HR, you need few basic information. Everyone has to learn this information first. So what is the meaning of human resource and who all called as a human resource, and what is the exact meaning of human resource management? These two terminologies are very important for any HR professional. From these two terminologies, we will be getting the activities you are going to learn in the core HR program. So let's move on to this first terminology, human resource. So what exactly the meaning of human resource? Whom we call as a human resource. So what is this kind resource? Human resource. One kind of resource called human. So let's take any company or any business. What is the exact meaning of this company or business? It consists of group of people, diversified workforce, different genders, different level of experience, different competencies, different specialized skills. These people are togetherly called as a business or company. What exactly these people are doing here? What exactly these people are doing here? Because end of the day, companies depend on these people, and these people also depend on company. End of the day, these group of personals in the company are having the same kind of collective purpose or agenda or objective. So what is that purpose here? End of the day, they have to work for achieving the organization objectives, goals with collective purpose here. So you understand what I mean? This group of people in the company are having some collective purpose. What is the purpose here? To achieve the desire and results of the company, to achieve the mission and vision of the company. So these group of persons in the company, so-called group of persons with different genders, and coming from different locations, having some differentiated skills, different competencies, these persons are referred as a human resource in a company. You understand what is the meaning of human resource now? Personnels involved in the company, personnels in the company are referred as employees, very key assets. Without these personals, so-called human resource, we cannot achieve anything. Company cannot achieve anything with this so-called group of personals, which is referred as employees and also referred as human resource in a company. These individuals, these personals can work as individually or as a group. So what is that? How we can achieve this desire and results? So writing is very easy. What is the mission and vision? Writing, now I can achieve the desire and results. How we can achieve this desire and results? That is nothing but how you manage this resource in a company, how you manage the human resource in a company with all your good practices, good policies, good culture, good work environment, good employee relations. So these things matters a lot to get the desired end results. So without these, without managing the resource, we cannot achieve anything what company is expecting from the employees. So finally, to manage this resource, nothing but overall management of such personals, group of personals referred as employees, also referred as human resource, which is nothing but human resource management. We are managing the human resource in a company. With that, we are making the resource in an efficient way, giving them the right direction. This is the right direction. In this right direction, if you face any kind of problems, just let us know to the human resource department. We can make sure that everything is aligned in a proper way. So human resource management is nothing but we are managing the people in the right direction with effectively using the resource with good practices, policies and procedures and culture. So what all comes under this HRM, human resource management? So these things here, these three stages are nothing but the activities you are going to learn in this core HR program. So in order to make a business, in order to make an organization, we need some resource. For getting the resource, what is the first activity we have to do? Attracting the resource here. So after getting the resource into the company or a business, what is it we have to do? We have to develop the resource. Developing the resource is nothing but at each and every point, at each and every stage, resource has to be performing up to the expectation level. That is called developing the resource in a performance way. So next is maintaining and controlling the resource. It's not about attracting the resource. It's not about developing the resource. At the same time, we have to maintain the resource for a long period of time. We have to get the control of the resource. There's no point you attracted a resource and developed a resource after 6 months of time. If the resource is leaving the company, then what are the efforts you have kept in the recruitment selection? What are the efforts you have kept in the development? It's all gone in vain. There's no point in doing this attracting and developing. So maintaining and controlling also a very crucial activity for an HR professional. That is a very crucial activity in human resource management. If you are handling this activity, attracting in line with your companies and policies, if you are developing the resource in line with your companies and policies and procedures, if you are maintaining and retaining the resource in a proper way, you can get the expected desired results here. So what all comes into this attracting? How you attract the candidate? Suppose you need some 10 resources, you need some 20 resources with different technologies, different vacancies we got in a company. How we attract the candidates here? So we can attract the candidates with some HR analysis, doing some strategic planning, and also doing with recruitment and selection activity, and also doing some preparing some nice JD which is motivating and can easily attract the candidates to your company. So what is the next activities involved in development? How you develop a resource? When the resource is finding some difficulty in performing up to the expectation level, when the resource is not meeting the standards, how you develop the resource? We have to do some review, take the feedback, do some necessary coaching. If need any training, do some training. It can be in-house training, it can be off the training, on the training, or you can assign some mentors so that they can develop, they can talk to the resource, what is the barriers, what is the restriction they're getting in giving the best performance. So mentors can help them, they will talk to them, they will listen to them, they will communicate, they will do some two-way communication, they can build up the performance of an employee. And also the performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is nothing but giving some rating or giving some feedback to the employee performance for the last 6 months or for the last 1 year of time. So what are the expectations? Has the employee has reached the standards laid down by the company or not? So what are the shortage of skills? So what is the competencies has to be developed for the employee? So these things can be developed in the performance appraisal. And also learning and development. So what are the competencies skill gap? How we can develop this resource by giving some training and development program or learning and development program, and also giving some additional career development programs, or conducting some training, behavioral trainings or technical trainings or personality trainings, train the trainer trainings. All this comes under developing a resource. So the third stage is maintaining and controlling the resource. How you maintain the resource in your company for a longer period of time? How you control the resource without leaving the company? You should have some good employee relations. So let's take an example. If employee is coming up with some grievance or issues or concerns when he or she is not happy with the leave policies or attendance policies or holidays policies or work resource or any kind of things, when employee is coming up with some grievance to the HR department, so what is it we have to do? We have to give them quick acknowledgement, quick resolution, make the employee feel that I am with you. So then only employee can stay with your company. Without any good employee relations, employee is not staying with your company. He may be looking for better opportunities. He may be not concentrating on your work. Next, grievance handling, objective grievance handling, not the subjective grievance handling. Clear and transparent resolution, and also the effective communication between the top management to the bottom management, and effective communication to all the things which have implemented, which are going to implemented changes, amendments. There should be proper communication, and also there should be recognition of employees, good reward and recognition programs, giving some monetary benefits, giving some non-monetary benefits for their performance, and also designing some team building activities in the sense communication team building activities, working together team building activities. These can build up strong bond between the employees and the companies. These make the employees more engaged, so that employee can be performing up to the expectations, and they can give the expectation beyond the expectations as well. And also we have to give the empowerment to the employee. If employee is not feeling something good, they should come down to the HR department, they should come down to the HR management department. They should express their things, inputs, references. This is not good, this is okay, we have to change this. This kind of empowerment has to be given to the employees. At the same time, we have to give the work-life balance to the employee. Employee can perform to the expected level. Employee can give the good productivity only when his work and personal life and professional life is in a balanced way. So as an HR professional, you have to find out all these things with the employees. When this attracting stage, developing stage, maintaining and controlling stage are well implemented, reviewed periodically, and done some necessary changes as per the company's policies and employee suggestions, then we can expect the desired end results. So what are the end results here? End of the day, we are achieving some good productivity from the employees. Employees are happy because these three things are very good. So employees are happy, they are concentrating on the work, they are giving their best. And again, company's productivity is more. If the company's productivity is more profit, more market, more revenue, and there will be less retention of employees. Employees will not be leaving a company. So we can save some amount in terms of employee turnover, recruitment selection, induction and orientation. These cost a lot, because more of a managers, middle level employees, low level employees, all the level of employees are involved in the recruitment selection, induction and orientation, joining formalities. This takes a lot of time and efforts. At the same time, cost also involved in these activities. If it is more retention of employees, then there is a less attrition of employees. Attrition is nothing but employees leaving the company. So more retention, less attrition. So less turnover and less cost, and there will be more save of money for the company. And obviously, eventually, there is a brand recognition and brand alignment which is growing for the company. So these are the two main things, two terminologies, two definitions, two concepts to be known by an HR professional when they are going for this core HR program. So you understand what I mean now? So HR, human resource meaning, and human resource management. This is what the meanings of human resource and human resource management. From here, we are learning the activities here. So you can learn all these activities here. Recruitment selection, one activity. As an HR professional, you have to get trained here. Next, job description, job analysis, all this will be coming in the recruitment selection. Performance management system, this is one module which has to be covered here. Next, employee relations and grievance handling, this is one module which we have to learn here. So this here we get all the kinds of activities what an core HR professional has to learn in the next 40 days of training. This is a 40 days of training. We've got two different modes of trainings. One is one-to-one trainings, online trainings, and classroom trainings as well. So before moving on to the next thing, so any professional, when you are an experienced professional or fresher or any business entrepreneur, you'll be getting three things in your mind. So what is the first activity? What is the sequence of activities for an HR professional? Honestly, what is the first activity I have to learn? So I'm a fresher now. If I'm learning, because I may be apply for a fresher job. So what are the activities required? Whether I need time management, whether I need statutory compliance, whether I need payroll management, whether I need recruitment selection. So there is a sequence of events. What all activities come one by one. So what is the first activity? What is the second activity? Or what is this roadmap of the HR activities that we are going to learn in the next step here. So next step is roadmap of HR activities. So I'll explain. We are moving on to this roadmap of HR activities here. So we can have a clear discussion on these things. So I'll be giving you the quick discussion on what all modules we'll be covering here. Suppose any kind of company, we have already discussed group of people, group of personals working on a collective objective or collective purpose to achieve some desired results. End of the day, whatever maybe the group of professionals or personals working in the company in different departments, every department has to be in line with the company's objectives and goals. Any department, if you take any admin department or development department or testing department, recruitment department or human resource department, legal department or vendor department, whatever may be the department in the company, as per the structure, as per the company structure, every company based on the depends upon the size, whether it is big company or small company, every company has got their own structure, hierarchical structure with different departments. So every department has to work in line with the company's objectives, goals, mission and vision. So whatever may be the activity you've been dealing, so we are talking on the HR here, HR activities. So what are the HR activities you are reading or learning or discussing here has to be in line with the organization objectives and goals. Okay, number one, suppose whenever there is a vacancy in a company, let's take there is a vacancy has been defined in the company. So here is the vacancy in some department. So what is the next step we have to do? We have to do with the recruitment and selection process. Recruitment is nothing but attracting the candidates in the market with the right match of skill set at the right time. So after that, we have to do the selection process. Once we get this profiles or right match of candidates, we have to do the selection process. Suppose we have got almost like 5 to 10 profiles. So we have to select which is the best profile, which is matching our company's culture, which is matching our company's environment, which is matching our company's organization objectives and goals. So we have to do some selection process. Once the selection process has been done, we will be getting the one finalized candidate. So before releasing the offer letter, we have to do some reference check. That reference check has to be done by the HR professional in the selection process. After the selection process, we have to do the reference check. And after the reference check, if we got the positive report from the reporting manager of the employee's X company, then we have to release some conditional offer letter. What is this conditional offer letter? The name telling everything here. Conditional is nothing but there is a condition. What is that condition? Condition is nothing but background verification. If the employee's BGV report is clear or green, then we can release the unconditional offer letter. This BGV is very important activity required for any HR professionals nowadays. In this 2018 or in this contemporary situation, we need the BGV activity, very important for any HR professional. Before releasing the offer letter, we have to do the background check. So here we will explain you what all these components we have to do the background check. So once the background check has been done, we will be getting this green color. Then we have to release the unconditional offer letter to the employee. So unconditional is nothing but there are no conditions. We have released the offer letter. So we are waiting for the employee on his date of joining. So why are we waiting for the employee? We are, as an HR professionals, we are waiting for the employee. We are excited to meet the employee for doing the onboard and joining formalities. So after the onboard and joining formalities, what is it we do here? We do some documentation part, which is involved as per the company's policies, and also as per the state and central act, there are few documentation required. We do those kind of documentation here. So after this onboard and joining formalities, we have to do the induction and orientation to a new employee. So new employee coming up with some pressure. So new place, new environment, he doesn't know anyone here. So we have to give some information about the company, about the workplace, about the culture, about the environment, about the process, about the job, and everything will be given in the induction orientation concept. So after induction and orientation, we have given the necessary information, appropriate information to the candidate. So we have to do the probation and confirmation to the employee. So what is this probation? Nothing but observation period. So we are keeping an eye on the employee. What exactly, how he is performing in terms of technical or core competencies, how he is behaving in terms of behavioral and personality traits. So after this probation and confirmation, this is an inevitable activity, unavoidable activity. End of the day, if the employee is onboarded, has given the necessary information, he's been working in the company, so we have to pay him for the services he has offered to the company. So for the services he has offered to the company, we are paying something. So what is the for paying such something? We need these inputs here. So what are the main crucial inputs? These are main critical inputs. Without these inputs, we cannot move payroll a single step. So we need these inputs on mandatory basis. So what is the first input here? Attendance. So based on the working days, we have to give the attendance related inputs here, and also the leave management, and also the statutory compliance, ESI, EPF, PT, TDS inputs has to be given to run the payroll management. So once the payroll management has been done, there are few continuous activities. From vacancy has been defined here. So when the vacancy has been defined till the exit of the employee, there are few continuous activity. These activity performance management system will be coming here at the start of vacancy, at the start of recruitment. This performance management is everywhere at each and every stage between the vacancy as defined to the end stage employee exit, that is what exit formalities, to the last working day of an employee. So, and also there are employee relation activities involved between this vacancy has been defined to the exit of the employee. So these two are called as a continuous activity. These are not one-time activities, these are not an events, these are continuous activities which are involved at each and every stage. So this is the flow chart. This is the flow chart. This is the start point, vacancy has been defined, and this is the end point when the employee is moving out of the company. In between these two, these are the activities involved. These are the activities involved, and employee as an HR professional, you have to manage all these activities. You have to manage all these activities to meet the desired end results of the company. So let's go in little detail about the activities here. What all comes between this vacancy and recruitment process? So we have discussed when there is a vacancy. Yes, there is a vacancy. What is the immediate step we have to do? So what is your agenda here? We have to fulfill this vacancy with the right match of profiles, with the right appropriate skill set at the right time. So what is it? There's no point in going, whenever we get a vacancy, there's no point in going to the portals, Naukri, Monster or social networking or referral database or anything. It's not straight away going to the attracting the candidates. There is something called pre-recruitment analysis that we will discuss in detail now. So what is this pre-recruitment analysis? So what is it? Whenever we get a vacancy, there's no point in going straight into the market and getting the candidates. So we have to save some cost here. So there is some HR planning. So what is this HR planning involves? So what is the existing policies, recruitment selection policies in the company? What are the practices we have been following in the past? So whether we have to go in the market or we have to find out some secondary option or secondment, alternative method. So what is the type of position? So what is this? Is it whether we need on a long-term duration or whether we need on a short-term duration? Whether what kind of staffing we will be going for this position? So budgeting, everything will be coming under this pre-recruitment analysis. So what is the budget we have got? So what is the budget we have to give it to our higher reporting manager? How to get the approvals? And what is this manpower requisition form? So what is that involved in this manpower requisition form? How important this MRF, and what is this JD? Suppose everything has been approved, your budget has been approved, your approval has been given, your MRF form has been approved, you got the staffing plan and everything. But before starting the recruitment, we need some job specifications. Job specifications is nothing but job description. If your company has got the JD, then there is no problem. Then we can update the JD as per the market standards. If your company hasn't got any JD for the position, we have to define the JD. We have to prepare the JD. We have to develop the JD. So what is the process for developing the JD is nothing but job analysis process. So after doing this job analysis process, we are getting the inputs to develop the JD, which has to be motivated. When any employer is looking at JD, he or she has to be motivated and apply for this job straight away. And we also how to develop some internal and external image for the company. So when you are developing this internal and external image, the recruitment stage will be easy. We can get the right match of candidates in the short period of time. So this is called the pre-recruitment analysis. We have to do some HR analysis, strategies, methodologies, process. What is it we have to do before going to the recruitment? So are we got all the required information to start this recruitment process or not? That is what we are going to discuss in pre-recruitment analysis or pre-recruitment stage. So what is the next stage here? Once we got the required budget approvals and we got the very much updated with the market standard latest update or latest JD job description, we got this very good internal and external image in the market. So what is it we have to do? We have to do the recruitment process now. Recruitment process is nothing but with all this information what we got in pre-recruitment analysis, we have to start the recruitment process in attracting the candidates. How we attract the candidates? So before going in the market to attract the candidates, there has to be some strategy. There has to be some criteria. So what is the strategy? What is the methodology that we are going to discuss in recruitment and recruitment concept here? And what are the different methods in the recruitment? So what are the different kinds of methods? How we can attract the candidates with different methods? So that methods will be explained here. And what are the different terminologies? So when you are an HR professional, you have to talk in HR terminology. When you're doing some recruitment and selection activities, you have to talk to the internal or external customers in recruitment terminologies. And also, what are the type of staffings involved here? What are the different kinds of staffings involved in the market? So whether it can be recruitment or permanent staffing, whether it can be contractual staffing, whether it can be contract to hire staffing, whether it can be temporary staffing, or so whatever seasonal staffing. These kind of staffings will be explained here. What is the real meaning of the staffings? So what is the benefits of the staffing? What are the cost, and what is the cost involved in the staffing in terms of placement charges, or what is it we have to pay for the vendors, and what is it vendor is getting from us? All this will be explained in the type of staffing here. And also recruitment constraints. So what are the barriers or what are constraints we are facing while doing the recruitment? That things will be explained in the recruitment constants. And also the recruitment agreements. So you got an opportunity with other company. After getting trained, you got an opportunity with other company. So you are working as an HR professionals. So there are 2 or 3 vendors working with your company. So they are providing the recruitment and staffing services. So when they are providing the recruitment staffing services, you have to do some kind of agreements. So recruitment agreements, what is the content, we have to keep it in the agreements. So what is the key components, what is the key content, we have to keep it or highlight in the agreements. So what are the different kinds of agreements? Contractual agreements, permanent staffing agreements, so contract to hire agreements. These agreements will be explained in the recruitment concept here. And after this recruitment concept, we will provide you with the email formats or predefined formats, any kind of forms, reports, and we will make you fill up these forms in a practical way. So after this selection, so what is the next stage here? Recruitment stage is the first stage and selection is the second stage. Once we got the profiles from recruitment stage, we have to do some screening process, selection. So based on the selection, we have to shortlist the profiles here. So here we will explain you about the selection process, how we plan, how we develop a selection process, what are the methods, different kinds of selection methods in the market, how these companies are using the selection methods, different companies, what are the different methods they're using, what are the selection criteria, what are the selection tools, what are the selection techniques, will be explained in this selection concept. And also how to prepare the interview questions, predefined questions, how you prepare these interview questions by sitting with your technical manager or reporting manager or your any other concerned person, how you prepare the interview questions, what is the main content which has to be involved in these interview questions. So what are the different types of interviews we are conducting for the employees, and what who all comes under this interview panel, because we need some interview panel to conduct these interviews. So who all comes under this interview panel, so what are their roles and responsibilities? What are the documentation part we have to provide for this interview panel members? So when to conduct this interview, where to conduct this interview, and what is this final feedback, and how you do this reference check, and how you do this background verification, and what are the pre-joining practices? Before onboarding of the candidate, there are few pre-joining practices, and that practices will be explained in the selection process. So what is in terms of documentation part, what is that we have to do before onboarding the candidate? So what is it we have to do, what is it we have to talk to the candidates before onboarding the candidate? And overall, after completing this recruitment selection module, we will be giving you the what are reports coming here in the recruitment selection, and what is the documentation part involved here, and what is the checklist involved here, and what is the email formats, templates, and predefined questionnaires will be given to you. So what is the next stage in the roadmap of HR activities? So next is onboard and joining formalities. So what is it we have to do? So candidate has been selected, we have done the reference check, we have done the BGV check, everything is fine with the candidate, and we got the report of green color. So what is the next stage we have to do? As an HR professionals, you have to wait for the candidate on the date of joining. On his or her date of joining, as an HR professional, you have to do these activities. I will guide you up in these activities both theoretically and practically as well. So what is the importance? Basic information, why we are doing this joining formalities. There is something here, purpose. Why are we doing this? For every activity, there is a purpose. For onboarding joining formalities, what is the purpose? What is the agenda? What is the objective? And what is your roles and responsibilities here? So how you do the joining formalities? What are the different types of documentation you have to do? So there are different kinds of documentation. One, we have to take it from the candidate. One, we have to submit to the candidate. So that is nothing but receiving and submission of documents. So, and also we will provide you with the joining kit. If any employee comes on the date of join, what is the joining kit? You have to take it and you have to make him sign, fill up, and all the documentation part will be explained in the joining kit. And also checklist required for all the checklists. For employment details, what is the checklist required? For the education, what is the checklist required? For bank account opening, what is the checklist required? For filling up the statutory acts, ESI PF, what is the checklist required? There are many things. That checklist will be provided and can be explained in detail at the time of onboard and joining formalities concept. So after doing the documentation part, there is one terminology in HR called P-file management. This is where you file up the document, sequence of documentation of employer. P file, personal file management. So after this, we will make you do this practical part as well. We will make you do this dummy joining formalities with all the forms, filling up, signing, and also documentation part, and also what all emails communication you have to do at the time of date of joining to all the different departments, and also what are the different letters involved in this onboarding joining formalities. There are different letters: offer letters, appointment letters, deputation letters, address proof letters, and also what are the documents you have to sign it, take the sign from the employees, like employee agreements, NOCs, non-competition document, non-disclosure agreements, all will be explained in this letters and formats and forms. So this is what called onboarding joining formalities. This can be explained in detail at the time of onboarding joining formalities module. So what is the next step in roadmap now? The next step in roadmap is induction and orientation. Once the candidate has done the joining and formalities, so we have to give them the required information, because he is a new employee. He doesn't know anything about our company. He doesn't know anything about our process, culture, our people, our environment. So we have to give them proper information about the company, HR information, organization information, job specific information about the safety, about the health and everything, safety and health and everything. So what all comes here? What is the definition of orientation? What is the definition of induction? So what is the main objective and purpose of this orientation and induction? So what is the difference between induction and orientation? So how you develop an induction orientation plan? So what are the components or activities should be involved in the plan? So what are the key components, mandatory components you have to involve in the orientation plan? So what is the meaning of organization orientation? What is the meaning of human resource orientation? What is the meaning of roles and responsibility orientation? What is the meaning of business orientation? So these will be covered in this orientation and induction concept. And after that, you have to do some kind of tracking. So induction tracking, regular follow-up, feedback, how you take the feedback from the employees, how you take the acknowledgement from the employees, and what all documentation involved here. This will be explained in the orientation and induction concept. So what is the next activity coming next to this orientation and induction is probation and confirmation. So we have done all the documentation part. We have done all the required information given to the employee. So what is the next step now? We have to keep an eye on the employee. We have to observe it, observation period for the employee. So it can be for 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, or 12 months. It all depends upon the company's internal policy. So what is the meaning of probation and confirmation? Why this is very important? Why this is very important? Why this activity is very crucial in developing a resource? So what is the purpose? What is the objective of this probation and confirmation activity? And what are the guidelines as an HR you have to follow when you are implementing or doing any kind of probation evaluation or doing any kind of confirmation to the employee? And what is the HR responsibility at each and every stage? And how you do the evaluation, probation evaluation? What is the content should be involved in the probation evaluation? So what are the different parts you have to evaluate the employees? On what basis you have to evaluate the employees? What is the content? On what basis or what content we have to do the evaluation of an employee? So what is this process? So what are the different kinds of outcomes will be coming after the evaluation? So what is the confirmation, and what are the letters we have to give after these outcomes? What is the documentation part? What is the reports? This will be given or explained in probation and confirmation concept. So after probation and confirmation, what is the next activity involved here? We have to do the payroll management. Payroll is nothing but paying the employee for the services he has rendered to the company. So he has been giving some services, so we have to pay him back. So he's giving something, we have to give him something. So that is nothing but payroll management. For doing this or running this payroll management, we need certain information. That is nothing but, I call it as payroll inputs. What is this payroll input? These are the three main key payroll inputs required to run a payroll or to design or to develop a pay sheet of an employee. So what is the first thing here? Attendance. So we have to know attendance is very crucial attribute for any employee. We have to find out how many days he or she has present in the company. So based on the working days only, we can do the payroll. So what all things you are learning in attendance management here? Number one, so right from the definitions, right from the basic information, I will explain you about these definitions, terminologies involved in attendance management, and what are the different kinds of work schedules. So you may be hearing from your friends or family that I'm working A shift or B shift or first shift or night shift or something. So what are the different kinds of work schedules here? So what are the kinds of work shifts here? And what is the meaning of duty roster, or what is this duty roster management involves? How you prepare a duty roster for your employees? And what are the benefits of the duty roster? Everything will be explained in the attendance management concept. And also, nowadays there is a very much high rise in the consultancies, staffing consultants in the market. So you will be having more good HR opportunities from these consulting companies, staffing companies. They may be posting an ad stating that we need HR professionals who are very good at time management, end-to-end timesheet management knowledge. So what is this timesheet? It is nothing but pulling the attendance details of all the employees who are working at the client location. Suppose from your company, 50 employees are working at different client locations. So how can you pull up the attendance of all the employees who are working at the client location? That is called timesheet management. I will explain you about this timesheet management, what is the process involved in here, and what is the approval process, what is the documentation part involved here, that can be explained here at the time of attendance management concept. And also we will help you, and we will give you the complete information theoretically and practically attendance sheet preparation, how you do this attendance sheet preparation, and what are the guidelines you have to follow, and what are the guidelines for the employees, and what is the attendance policies, regulations, and what is this absenteeism, how do you find out this absenteeism rate for all the department, for all the locations, for all the professions. So absenteeism, what is the definition here? What is the meaning of the absenteeism? What are the, how you do the calculation for the absenteeism? So what are the reports we can generate for absenteeism? And also the overtime calculations. And what are your duties and responsibilities in attendance management can be explained to you. So what is the next roadmap here now? Leave management. This is one more crucial input required to run a payroll. So what is that we are learning in leave management concept? Right from the definitions, basic information, all the theoretical information, definitions, purpose, objective, and what are the different kinds of leaves, types of leaves as per the Telangana Shops and Establishment, and what all are eligibility, and what is the entitlement of these leaves, and what is the leave process, and what is the cancellation process, and what is the extension process, and how you, and what is this leave encashment calculations, LOP, leave request, documentation will be explained in the leave management concept. So we will give you clear information about the leaves, type of leaves, casual leaves, sick leaves, encashment leaves, compensatory offs, study leaves. So there are many leaves. So as per the Telangana Shops and Establishment, so what is the eligibility and what is the entitlement, what is the accumulation number, everything will be explained in the leave management concept. And here, after the completion of both attendance and leave management, we will explain you about the reports, documentation, and predefined templates and forms, emails required for both these activities here. So what is the next roadmap here? Next roadmap is statutory compliances. So there are few mandatory acts which has to be followed by the company if they are eligible or in line with this Statutory Compliances Act. So what is that first thing? So what is this compliances? These are certain benefits given by the central government in terms of medical benefit, which is nothing but the ESIC, in terms of savings, in terms of insurance, in terms of pension, that is nothing but a EPFO. And these are the acts which are administered by the central government. Okay, EPF and ESIC acts. So why these are very mandatory? If the company is eligible to for these acts, then company has to follow certain rules and guidelines from the ESIC, EPFO, and bonus, gratuity, maternity, and professional tax. So these are the things you are going to learn in statutory compliances. Telangana Shops and Establishment, what this act stating and what is the main purpose of this act, what all comes in this will be explained you at the time of statutory compliances concept. And what is the EPFO Act, Employee Provident Fund Organization Act, and ESIC Act, Bonus Act, Gratuity Act, Maternity Act, and Professional Tax. What all we are covering here? Each act covers what is the purpose, what is the objective, what is the process, what is the eligibility required for the registration for the employer, and what is the eligibility required for the employee for the registration process. So nothing but registration process for both employer and employee, and also the documentation part, and also the what are the benefits coming from ESIC, and what are the benefits coming from the ESIC, EPFO, and what are the benefits coming from Bonus Act, Gratuity Act, Maternity Act will be explained here in this statutory compliance concept. And also, moreover, very importantly, we can have a quick look at this below diagram that suppose if employee is eligible for this ESIC Act or EPFO Act or PT, professional tax, which is nothing but the state tax. So what is that? If these employees are eligible for these three compliances act, then they have to contribute some amount. That percentage will be explained you at the time of statutory compliances concept in detail. So I'm just giving you the quick discussion. ESIC contribution amount, which is coming from the employees. PF contribution amount, which is coming from the employee, and PT amount, which is coming from the employee. At the same time, ESIC, EPFO, there is certain contribution from the company as well. Company has to contribute some amount on behalf of employees at certain percentage. That is called employer contribution. At the same time, this company has to contribute some amount for the EPFO as well, from the EPFO on behalf of employees. So this amount which is coming from the employee for ESIC and EPF, and for the ESIC and EPFO from the employer as well, this amount is nothing but consolidated amount. This consolidated amount has to be deposited to the ESIC.in and EPFO.in, and this PT amount will be created or done payment at Telangana government commercial tax.government.in. So why I'm telling all these things is to do these payments, to do these respective payments for the ESIC, EPF or PT, what we have to do here? We have to understand and get knowledge in handling the websites. So what are these websites called? ESIC.in and EPFO.in and commercialtax.in. So here we will give you the complete theoretical knowledge and also the practical knowledge, how you can handle this ESIC, EPFO, how you do the payments, how you do the documentation part first, how you do the payments, how you raise the chalana. So how you do the registrations for the employer and employee in these websites, that can be explained to you clearly. So this amount and this contribution amount will be going to the ESIC, EPFO and commercial tax government.in. So I'm telling you, we will give you the practical knowledge in detail, how you make the payments, how you raise the chalana, how you file the returns as well. So this is what we cover in statutory compliances concept. So what is the next activity in the roadmap? So the next activity is payroll management. Very hard activity. I can say this is a very crucial activity for any HR professional. You can see any job portal. If you are searching for a job, any job posting requires, we need an HR professional with 2 years or 3 years, very good hands-on payroll management. This is mandatory activity required for any HR professional. So what is it we are going to learn here? This activity will take almost like 7 to 10 days of time. Every day 2 hours of time. So this payroll management, I can say, very crucial activity, very important activity, must mandatory activity required for any HR professionals. So right from the payroll basics, we will explain you about the payroll basics definition. What is the meaning of payroll? What is the meaning of payroll management? Salary. What is the meaning of salary? What is the meaning of wages? What is the meaning of salary periods, salary timelines? Every definition will be explained here, and also what are the different kinds of options to run a payroll in the market. So that options will be explained here, and what are the different kinds of pay periods, because different companies will be following different pay periods. Few may be following different timelines. Few IT companies, few non-IT companies, or few different companies following different pay periods. So I will explain what are different pay periods in the market, and what are the payment dates, and what are the modes of transfers. Modes of transfer is nothing but salary transfer. And also, before going to the subject, we need to know what are different kinds of payroll terminologies. So what are the different terminologies, key terminologies, that I will explain you clearly with all the required information here. And also after this, there is a called salary allowance or flexible benefit allowances. This salary or flexible benefit allowance are very important. This can affect the taxation, and these are directly proportional to the taxation amount. So what are these flexible benefit allowances? So what are the types of flexible benefit allowances, also called as salary allowances, and what are the definitions, and what are the rules, and what are the exemptions as well? What is the maximum amount is exempted from the tax, and what is that amount? What is the reimbursement component will be explained in the flexible benefit allowances. And also I will show you practically how these flexible benefit allowances is affecting the taxation. And also I will give you the clear information on the CTC, cost to company. So what is this meaning of cost to company? What all components are involved in cost to company, and what are the definitions? How you design the CTC? Suppose as an HR professional, you have accepted one candidate and you have to release the offer letter. So in that offer letter, you have to give the CTC breakup. So I will explain you how to design the CTC breakup. So what all components you have to keep as a friendly taxation to the employee. So that explanation, that concept will be explained in payroll management concept. And also, what is the difference between CTC and net pay? Many may be confused. What is the meaning of net pay? What is the meaning of CTC? That we will explain to you practically in numerical ways. What is this meaning of CTC and what is the meaning of net pay, and what is the difference between these two, CTC amount and net pay amount as well. And before running these payroll calculations, we need some inputs. So what are the different kinds of payroll inputs? There are many payroll inputs. So what are the different kinds of payroll inputs? Time inputs or attendance inputs, leave inputs, or reimbursements, one-time payouts, incentives, any changes in the salaries. This all comes under payroll input. We can discuss in detail at the time of payroll management module. And what are the payroll steps you have to consider before doing the payroll calculation? So what are the steps you have to follow? That checklist I will be giving you here. What are the steps we have to follow here, and what is the process involved before doing the payroll calculation? So, and also finally, after doing this payroll calculation, we have to do this pay sheet preparation, nothing but salary sheet preparation. How you do this pay sheet preparation, that I will show you practically. And also after this pay sheet preparation, we have to do this pay slip generation or pay slip disbursement to the employees. How you prepare this pay slip and what are the important components required in pay slip, I will explain you clearly here. And payroll reconciliation. Before sending to the bank, before sending the payments to the bank for all the employees, we have to do some reconciliation. That is called cross-checking of our before month payroll and this month payroll. How we do this reconciliation, that I will explain you clearly. And also the bank statement preparation. If you want to transfer the salaries to the employees, we have to prepare the bank statement and we have to send it to the bank. How we do this bank statement preparation? What are the required documentation required when you are sending a statement to the bank officials? And also, what are the different kinds of taxations? Because as per the IT Act, there are few tax saving sections, ATC, ATD, ATE, ATG, and different kinds of saving sections. That I will explain in detail. What is the exemption? What is the tax saving amount in each section? What all comes in these tax saving sections? So, and also how you do the TDS calculation for any employee. So that will be explained to you practically in a numerically. And also after completion of this course, we will explain you about the payroll reports, documentation, and also the what all formulas involved here, formats, predefined formats or email communication, everything. Documentation part will be explained in payroll management. So this is one key activity and you have to spend more time on this thing. So what is the next roadmap activity here? So what is the next activity? Exit formalities. This is exit format. This is one also key important activity for an HR professionals. So what is it we have to do? Whenever any employee dropping a resignation email to the HR department or to the management, so what is the next step you have to do as an HR professional? That we will explain you clearly here. So before going to this HR exit formalities, first we have to know what are the different kinds of separations in the market. So as per HR, there are two kinds of separations, involuntary and voluntary separations. What all comes in this involuntary separation and what all comes in this voluntary separation, that we can explain in detail. And also the exit process. So what is the process? The day employee has left his resignation to the employee is leaving the company, what is the between process we have to follow and what are the rules we have to follow, what are the guidelines we have to follow, that can be explained here. And also what is that documentation required? at the time of employee leaving the company. So what is the documentation we have to make it as a mandatory process? So what is the documentation part? Employment agreements. What is the content which has to be kept in the employee agreement? And what is this no objection certificate? And what is this no due certificate? And what is this full and final settlement? Everything documentation part will be explained here. And also we have to take the feedback from the employee. That is nothing but exit interview. How you conduct the exit interview? What is the questionnaire and what is the questionnaire and how is the questionnaire you have to prepare and what are questions you have to keep it in the exit interview form. And also the exit letters. When the employee has done the exit interview, he has done all the documentation part, we have to give him the certain exit letters, experience, relieving letters, or no objection certificate letters, or anything we will be discussing here. And also the full and final settlement. Whenever employee is leaving the company, we have to give him the complete settlement of his finance, money and monetary terms and everything. So we have to calculate the full and final settlement. That I will explain you in detail how you do the full and final settlement, what all components to be considered in full and final settlement as well. And also finally, this is very important activity for any employee. When the employee is leaving the company, HR has to give his best to get back to the company. That is called retention, employee retention, and what are strategies you have to implement and the way you talk to the employee and what are things you have to consider to try your best to get back the employee to the company. And what is this attrition? Attrition meaning, and what is the attrition meaning, what is the purpose, and what is the calculation, what are the formulas involved here, and what are the different kinds of attrition reports will be explained here as well. So for exit formalities, we will provide you with this predefined reports or templates or formats or email communication and documentation part as well. So this is called exit formalities, and this is what HR has to follow when employee is left with the resignation email. So between these two, when the vacancy has been defined to the last working day of an employee, there are a couple of activities which are nothing but the continuous activities. There is no certain stage for this. These are not an event. We have to conduct these activities only in the month of January, or we have to conduct employee relations in the month of March. There is no such what you call the month or time for to implement these activities. These are called continuous activities. So what are the continuous performance management system? Because right from the vacancy is defined, employee is leaving the company, employee has to maintain consistent performance during this vacancy defined to the employer last working day. So for that, what we have to do as an HR professional? Number one, so we are moving on to this performance management system. So first we will learn what exactly this performance management system and what is this main agenda or objective of this performance management system, why this is really important for any organization. This is really important, why we need of PMS, performance management system. So what are the components and what is this PMS process, a cycle? I will explain you the cycle and what are the steps involved in performance management system and what are your responsibilities, HR responsibilities, reporting manager responsibilities, or supervisor responsibilities or management responsibility explained here as well. And what are the different kinds of PMS tools? Tools and nothing but, so these tools are improving the performance. That is why we call it as PMS tools. So one tool is performance appraisal. That we will explain you here. What is the meaning of performance appraisal and what is the main importance of performance appraisal? What are the terminologies involved in here? Terminologies are nothing but, in performance appraisal we call as appraisee, appraisers. These kind of terminologies will be explained here. What is the meaning of appraisee? What is the meaning of appraiser? What is the meaning of review officer? What is the meaning of HR in performance appraisal? And what are the objectives of PA? So what are the limitations? You have to avoid certain things when you're doing performance appraisal for any employee. That limitations will be explained here as well. And what is the content and checklist for PA? If you want to conduct performance appraisal process in your company, so what is the checklist required? So what is in terms of documentation, stepwise? What is it we have to do at the first step? What is it we have to do at the second step? That is nothing but checklist with all the required documentation. And also we will be developing the performance development plan. And what are the different methods? There are different methods to evaluate the employee performance. So what are the different methods here? Traditional methods and modern methods here. So I will explain you clearly what all comes in this traditional method and what all comes in this modern methods as well. In this modern methods, latest methods, 360 appraisal, and MBO, management by objective, will be explained here, and all the traditional and modern methods will be explained here as well. And also we will explain you how you do the performance evaluation of an employee using KRA and KPI. So KRA is nothing but key result areas, and KPI is key performance indicators. How you do the evaluation of any employee? How you do by using this method? I will explain you clearly with numerics. Practical example I'll be giving you here, how we evaluate the performance of any employee, which it can be IT, it can be mechanical, it can be any kind of IT or non-IT position, how we do the evaluation of an employee. So end of the day, after completion of this performance management, we will give you the clear what is the checklist and documentation part required here, reports and any forms or performance appraisal forms, self-assessments or reporting manager assessments forms will be given here. So what is the next roadmap activity? The next roadmap activity is employee relations and engagement. This is very important concept. If your company has got very good employee relations or a very good employee engagement team, your company can achieve anything. So number one thing, these are very crucial. These makes a lot of difference to the employees' motivation or morals. So what all comes under this employee relations? Here, employee relations and engagement. So right from the definitions, basic concepts, we will explain you here, and what are the different kinds of employee relation issues. It can be whether attendance related or performance related or behavioral or work related, any kind of issues will be explained here, and what is the advantage in doing effective employee relations or advantage of good employee relations. After this, the other concept is grievance. Grievance is nothing but employees coming to the management with some kind of concerns which are not addressed. So what is this grievance procedure and what are the different methods? Step ladder method and open door communication method. And what is the investigation process? So if you got any kind of discipline issues with the employee, something I think there is something what you call aggressive or manhandling issues has taken place in the company, or any kind of security issues or any kind of ethical issues or any kind of fraud related issues has happened in your company, you have to do some certain investigation process. So I will guide you up here. What are the guidelines? So what is the first step you have to do after receiving complaint from your reporting manager, after receiving complaint from your employee or management or any. So what is the checklist? So what is the checklist and what are the questionnaires? When you're doing the investigation process, we need some questionnaire stuff, and how you do this dispute resolutions, and what are the formats, and what are the letters, and what are the email communication required. I'll provide you complete information here. So letters are nothing but memos, show cause notice, warning letters, everything will be coming in this format, letters and email communication. This is very important activity and crucial activity. I will explain you how to make your employees more engaged. So this is what the roadmap of activities of an HR professional. You understand? So these are the activities you are going to learn in the next 40 days of time. So what is the first activity? Recruitment selection. This is one activity, and the second one is background verification and onboard and joining formalities is one activity, and induction or orientation and probation and confirmation is one activity, and attendance management is one activity, leave management is one activity, and statutory compliance, which comes with ESI, EPFO, PT, gratuity, maternity, bonus, and TDS. This all comes under the Statutory Compliance Act. And another activity, very crucial activity, very important activity for an HR professional is payroll management. And one of the other activities is exit formalities. And another two activities are employee relations and performance management. This is your activities or modules or content for your core HR program. So this is a 40 days program with online training or classroom training and one-to-one training available. So what is it? The third thing comes to your mind. The first thing comes to your mind is whether I am the suitable person for this core HR program or not. That we have discussed and given you the necessary information. Second thing, so what is that? Where I have to start as an HR professional? What is the activities I have to learn? What is the sequence of activities in HR? That we have discussed about at the rate roadmap of HR activities. So what is the third thing coming in your mind? You will be getting in your mind, wondering that after this completion of the core HR program, So how I can enhance my professional career as an HR? That we can explain you here. That is nothing but HR career advancement program. So this is nothing but HR can advance his career in two different verticals. Number one is if you want specifically into recruitment vertical. Number two is as a HR journalist. HR journalist is nothing but HR journalist will be having competencies in different activities. He or she has been handling different activities. So recruitment is only one sole activity. That is nothing but recruitment, and 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 60 or 70% of the selection part only, not complete selection part. So as if you want you enhance your career in recruitment vertical, you will start your career as trainee recruiter. So after that, slowly, based on your competencies, you will grow as IT recruiter, recruitment coordinator, or HR recruiter, or junior IT recruiter, or senior recruiter, or talent acquisition lead, or team lead recruitment, or recruitment head, or accounts manager. So what is this accounts manager? Accounts manager is not related to the finance subject here. This accounts manager is nothing but this manager will be having two or three clients will be handling. Those three clients are called as an account. Three accounts are called as a three clients here. So accounts manager is the point of contact person to all the clients. He will be having a separate recruitment head. He will be having a separate team lead or tag lead. He or she will be having a separate team of junior and mid-level recruiters. A company can have two or three accounts manager based on the number of clients they are handling. If the clients they are handling are more than 10, they will be having more than three accounts manager with different teams. One account manager will be having one recruitment head, one team lead, and recruiters can be junior, middle, or senior level recruiters. So this eventually, once you start your career in recruitment, slowly, gradually, you've been increasing your level of experience here. As a trainee HR, 0 to 1 years experience, here 1 to 2, here also 1 to 2, and HR recruiter junior recruiter 2 to 3. Senior comes from 3 plus, and team lead comes from 4 plus or 5, and recruitment head comes from 5 plus, and accounts manager will be 6 plus years of experience. Once you slowly increase your career enhancement here, eventually this will lead to the vendor management. So you will be handling all the vendor related activities, agreements as a point of contact, sharing the requirements, purchase orders, renewal of purchase orders, rate cards, billing details, everything will be coming in this vendor management. So what are the activities these people are handling? When you want to choose your career in recruitment, so what are the activities you have to handle here? Activities handled based on the level of experience. You have to handle the recruitment, how you attract the candidates. You will be using these different job portals, you will be using the social networking, you will be using some internal database or whatever will be the different mode of recruitment method. So you will handle all these things. Sourcing, you will do this initial sourcing, uh, basic screening, and also when your experience level is more than 3 plus, you will be doing the technical screening, and you have to do the necessary coordination with the client and the candidates, and you have to do the follow-up with the interviews, onboarding and joining. And senior level employees will be taking up their chair in the interview panel, and they will provide the feedbacks. And after that, accounts manager and recruitment head will be dealing with the rate card and billing preparations and renewal of agreements, purchase orders, work orders, and acting as a point of contact and single point of contact to the clients and vendors. So here you can clearly see only one specific activity, that is nothing but recruitment and selection activities taken care by these professionals who are choosing the career in recruitment here. So what is the next vertical here? HR journalist. So if you are learning all these activities in roadmap, then you can be a HR journalist, because you are learning more than one activity here, because you are developing competencies in different activities. So you can be an HR journalist. So you start your career as trainee management or trainee HR, then comes the assistant and junior HR, then comes the HR coordinator, then comes the HR executive, senior executive, and HR journalist, and assistant deputy manager HR or manager HR, and senior manager HR business partner. And if you take a look at the job postings in the Naukri, Monster or Times Job or Shine. You can see employee relations manager, employee engagement manager, CNB manager, learning and development manager, payroll manager, or compliance manager, or PMS manager. This can be seen only in the level companies, big companies, because big companies will be having big team of HR department individually, because they will be having individual departments for every activity. If you go to the small medium companies, only HR generalist has to take care of all these activities. So that is the reason I'm saying you can see these kind of posts from the big level of companies here, and this is eventually leading to vice president and director HR. And what are the activities they have been handling here? Recruitment selection, 80%, except sourcing. This is what we are not doing here, except portal handlings or sourcing the profile. Sourcing the profile is nothing but getting the right match of profiles from the market. And if you want to choose a career in HR generalist, you have to learn BGV, you have to learn onboarding, you have to learn joining formalities, you have to learn P-file management, induction, probation and confirmation, and attendance and leave management, and statutory compliances, payroll management, PMS, performance appraisal and training and development, employee relations and engagement, CNB program, HR general and admin activities, exit formalities, and policies and procedures preparation. So these are the activities we have to learn here, because these activities are same as the activities in the HR core HR roadmap here. So if you are learning all these activities, you can be a HR generalist. Then you can enhance your career in HR generalist. So this all depends upon the level of and size of company. Few companies, only HR generalists will be taking care of all the activities. Few companies, specifically, they will be handling payroll, they will be handling employee relations, they can handle statutory compliance, they can handle exit formalities or general HR admin activities. So based on your competencies, you have to choose your career advancement here after completion of your course. So trainee HR is nothing but 0 to 1 years. An assistant junior HR, it can be 0 to 2 years. An HR coordinator 0 to 2 years. And HR executive 0 to 3 years. And senior executives, it can be 2 to 4 years. Here comes the most probably 3+ years. Few employees can learn in 3 years all the activities. Few employees can learn only after the 4 years. So 4+ years is the best time for the HR journalist. These HR journalists here, after 4+ years, they will be handling time management, leave management, attendance management, statutory compliances, payroll, employee grievance handling, and what you call payroll management and HR journalist admin activities. So as an assistant deputy manager, it comes 4+2, 6 years, and 5 to 7 years this is, and beyond 5+ HR business partner, and 6+ years can be employee relations and engagement, and it can be vice president or something. 8+ or 9+ years of experience, you can be a vice president or you can be a director of HR. So this is what the career advancement of an HR professional. Hope I have cleared all your doubts in your mind. Number one thing is, am I eligible for this core HR program? Number two, so what is the sequence of HR activities? What is the activity which is coming first, and what is the activity which is coming as a continuous activity, and what is the activity which is coming as a last? And what is the third question in your mind is that, what is my career advancement after getting trained here as an HR professional? What is my career advancement? So you don't be confused now. You can choose your career advancement here. If you want to be a HR journalist, you have to learn all these activities. If you want to be in a recruitment, then I can provide you special class or 10 days or 20 days of time in portal handlings as well. Naukri, Monster, Timestamp portal handlings, and also I will be giving you the technical knowledge as well. When you want to be recruitment, you need some portal handling knowledge, and also you need some technical knowledge, IT technologies or non-IT technologies knowledge as well. That can be provided at Rainbow Training Institute. So thank you so much for your time. If you got any queries or any further information required on this, you can contact us on the contact number which is available at our website and in the PPT as well. So have a good day. Thank you so much for your time.